Everyone knows that the Nintendo Switch 2 is the highest grossing console ever, but what we don't know is behind the scenes it's not looking too good. Investors are pretty upset with Nintendo stocks being down 23%. Now this is a pretty big deal because this is the launch of a brand new console, and right now Nintendo doesn't have anything to prove it. Ever since the Nintendo Switch 2, you can tell that Nintendo really had to drop something big, but so far we haven't really seen anything that big and quite a long time. Now, of course, as you can look at this chart right here, you can see that probably June and August were their biggest month, and then it started to go downhill from there. Because if you look at the games that we got, we didn't get too many games, of course. During that season, we got Hyrule Warriors, we also got Kirby Air Riders, we also got Metroid Prime 4, but it's not really the big games that Nintendo fans would buy a console to make these stocks go back up. So I believe that Nintendo is actually planning something big, because if you look at this right here, the statement that Furikawa actually made. So investors and people were asking him about, so what's next with Nintendo? And instead of answering a question, he points towards the 40th anniversary of Mario, which you could admit that is pretty much done by now. But wait, what if all the leaks and rumors that we've been getting are actually true? We are going to be getting a new 3D Mario. I think that that's going to happen. I think that that's going to be enough to drive these stocks way back up. So investors are happy, consumers are happy, and everyone's happy across the board. Then we also see something about investors or people asking him about Pokemon's 30th anniversary. Well, obviously, Pokemon is one major player when it comes to Nintendo, because they really got a big piece of pie when it comes with the Pokemon Cup. Since it's the highest media franchise, you really gotta wonder that it's going to bring a lot of investors pretty happy with Nintendo. So why am I sitting here talking about investors, stocks, and everything associated to that? Well, if you know anything about the market and how bad it's actually becoming, the price of RAM is pretty horrible. And this morning, Nvidia actually made a statement saying that the next video cards could come out in 2028, which is a whole year after their previous announcement that it's going to be 2027. So things are definitely getting bad. And what is inside of the Nintendo Switch but an Nvidia chip? And if no one can get their hands on RAM, if Nvidia can't make VRAM, which is the video memory, the dedicated video memory inside of the card, well, there's going to be a lot of problems. Seeing as this post right here, you can see that the investors are wondering if each of the parts are going to go up in price. And Nintendo says that they can't tell you how much the prices are going to go up, but they can assure you that, well, usually if the numbers are down, Nintendo's going to want to drive it back up. And since there's probably going to be incoming price increases, either Nintendo eats the cost, but usually they don't like to do that. They like to make a profit off of the hardware that they're selling. So they're probably going to raise the prices, which is going to drive investors even out crazier out back. But what we don't know is Nintendo is probably going to be releasing bigger and bigger games. I've been saying this for a long time. I think that we are going to be seeing a 3D Mario. I think we are going to be seeing something for The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda's 40th anniversary is coming up really, really soon. We're probably not going to be seeing something on the day exactly, but probably really close to it. Again, we might see a direct on the third week of February, and we could also see maybe something for March, but it seems like Nintendo might actually have this under control, and I think that is really a great thing, because like, you want to make consumers happy, you want to make investors happy, you want to make everyone happy, drive those system sellers, those system sales all the way off the charts, because I'm telling you right now, the games aren't looking really exciting. Of course, you got Mario Tennis Fever, of course you got Tamagotchi Life, you have Pokemon Pokopia. You don't really have any big names, big games that are coming soon. Right now, Nintendo is pretty much relying on third-party support instead of the first-party support. I don't know if that's just me, but usually if I'm buying a Nintendo console, it is going to be to play the main Nintendo games, because those are honestly, personally, my favorite games. They are so good. You got your Marios, you got your Zeldas, you got your Pokemons. These are really, really good franchises. So it makes you wonder if Nintendo is actually going to, instead of relying on third party support is great in some proportions. Like right now, we got some pretty good ones during the direct, but it definitely wasn't the big ones that everyone and probably me was anticipating, like Halo and Forza and other big games. We definitely didn't get that, which was a little bit disappointing. So something's definitely going to happen. Now, if we take a look at this right here, you can see that the major leaks are pointing saying with Nintendo Switch 2, we walk hand in hand. So I believe that this does mean that we are going to be getting this general direct, because again, he was right about seeing Final Fantasy. So if we could take that, of course, just take these with a grain of salt. They're definitely not going to happen. Nintendo didn't confirm it, but for me, it seems like we are going to be getting a direct to fix all of this. And inside that direct, we're going to be seeing a new Zelda. We are going to be seeing a brand new Mario. And we're going to be seeing a bunch of games that would make investors happy, that would make consumers happy, and would make everyone in the gaming space really, really happy. And we're probably going to be seeing those third-party games that we haven't seen, because when it comes to Dust Bloods, when it comes to probably Halo, they want to slide that into the main general direct because it's considered a big game, and usually with partner showcases, right now as of late, it's been all about smaller games. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's more like the smaller games and the not big popular games. So yeah, I think that that's exactly what's going to be happening. But overall, I think that it definitely is a very funny and interesting situation to be in, because the Nintendo Switch 2, the first year of the console, should usually be the high year where you have the system sellers, where you have all of those things. But right now, it seems like Nintendo is playing for second. So what I mean by that is they don't really want the first year to be the one big system seller, which I guess makes sense, because if you hold out that line, well then there would be more intensive to buy a Nintendo Switch year 2, year 3, because as the Switch or as the Switch 2 is pretty much getting older, there's going to be less sales, and that graph is pretty much going to go down over time, unless there's those big games that people are going to want to buy a Switch 2 just to play. So that does make sense in some ways, but right now, it's definitely not looking the greatest out there for the Nintendo Switch 2, and I hope that it gets fixed really, really soon. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Nintendo is going to drop something big? Me, I think it's going to happen. I think something big is going to happen. Probably remasters and remakes as well. Maybe The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. Maybe The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Maybe even Kirby Triple Deluxe, Planet Robot, maybe even some other games as well. I think that it's going to be great. And also, Pokemon's 30th anniversary is going to be happening at the end of the month, which could bring a lot of big things, like a classic collection. There's been a lot of leaks about that, so potentially a classic collection would make investors and everyone really, really happy. But of course, the Pokemon company isn't fully controlled by Nintendo, which makes a whole strange situation here. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you have a fantastic day. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And with that being said, see you in the next one.